Yesterday we had a very California day. We started riding down to Fairmount Park in Riverside, California, where Kathy and a group of bluegrass musicians gather to do a bluegrass jam. After that, I walked the Santa Ana River Trail, a paved multi-use trail in the area. And after we were done with that, we had lunch in Riverside and went up to Big Bear and drove Kathy's Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sparky up and over some beautiful Forest Service roads up in the mountains, exiting out in the desert. So basically a group of activities that's hard to do anywhere outside of California. Well, we'll see how today goes. It's a usual Saturday morning here in Fairmount Park, Riverside, California. Kathy heads over to do her bluegrass jam. Having a little trouble with the walking stick there. And I'm going to go take a walk on the Santa Ana Trail. Rode over in Sparky. We're thinking about maybe after the jam going up to Big Bear area and drive some Forest Service roads. We'll see how that goes. It's Labor Day weekend, so everything's going to be crowded. So I'm a little hesitant to make any plans to go anywhere today other than take naps and relax. Yeah. So we'll see. I've got the, I guess you can see me in there. I've got the water bladder that was given to me by Holy Name. Nice straw hat. I didn't put on sunblock. I hope I don't regret that. But I have been out in the sun quite a bit, so I think I'll be okay. We'll see. And this is the Bluegrass Jam. They get started between 9 and 10 typically. And that's the problem with doing a jam in a public park. All kinds of undesirables show up. Yeah, I'm going to head back. I'll see you in a bit. Have fun. So these are the lakes that are here in Fairmount Park. It's actually a very nice park. The times we've been here, they keep the park clean. No homeless encampments. No, you feel, I guess I just say you feel fairly comfortable and secure. Now normally you'll see multiple parties getting their pictures taken around the rose garden there. Usually young ladies for the quinceañeras, maybe bridal portraits, things like that. It is quite pretty. And from what I've explored a little bit outside of the park, just driving to and from it, the nearby neighborhoods are quite nice. Houses built up on bluffs. Interesting, you know, different perspectives, like in parts of western Texas, what people call a river, we would have called a brook or a creek. I grew up in the Midwest, where we had too much rain. So it is funny, Riverside and the Santa Ana River Trail, and there is a little, you know, a little brook at the bottom of the valley where the Santa Ana River flows. It's not a whole lot left of it by the time it gets that far from its headwaters. To my knowledge, everything like that around is from snowmelt. Just like spending time around Reno, Nevada, the Truckee River, all the water that supports all of that development out there is all snowmelt from the Sierras up around Tahoe and those places. Alright, so as you walk along Fairmount Park here, right on the edge of that lake, there's a little offshoot here that takes you out to the Santa Ana River Trail. One thing I've noticed is almost all of the information signs in these parks are gone. I don't know if they just kept getting vandalized or what. When I first came here, oh, look at the Santa Ana River Trail. That's a great place to hike. Maybe we'll bring the bicycles out. But everything I read was about smash and grab and how you'd come back to a trashed car or whatever, and there's signs in the parking lot at the access that I first found. So really, Fairmont Park to me is probably the best place around locally to get onto the trail. So after we lived here about 5 months, I finally figured out there is a safe place to park your car and then access the trail. Because you get used to 93, 95 degree highs pretty quickly, and this is the hottest time of year here. And we're pretty far from the ocean, that's why it gets so hot here. But it's the same forecast every day. So I just think about if you plan outdoor activities, there's no such thing as an inclement weather plan. It's always the same weather. Hi. Now this is where this little spur kind of leads to the main Santa Ana Parkway Trail. When you come out here, you feel like you're in a Las Vegas storm drain or something, and it's really barren and concretey. I'd never noticed before that there's a cross and an American flag up on those hill peaks right there at the edge of Riverside. There is a trail that goes up there. I was watching some people climb it earlier. Now, last time I went pretty far down the trail that way, toward the east, I believe. This time I'm going to head west. Interesting. All right, so there's one of the entrances to the trails that go up the hills. Get in right there. Don't think I'm up for that today. Just feeling a little woozy this morning. So today I think I'll stick to the flatland. Yeah, unfortunately, just about all of the signs that you might use to guide you on this trail are all blank. The good news is it's all pretty well published on cell phones and things like that. So if you got any kind of electronics with you, you'll be able to pick out the course of the trail. Well, I was curious in some of these manhole structures. I was like, oh, is that like, storm drain entrances in case things flood? And I realized no. I was trying to figure out why there's this kind of unpleasant smell, really dry air your nose picks up every odor. And at least a few of these are definitely manholes that access a sanitary sewer. The kind of nasty smell would get stronger as I walked up to one, then finally the breeze was in the right direction. I was like, oh, no, yeah, those are sanitary sewer manholes that just happen to run along this access. And yeah, you can smell them. We recently took a trip up toward Big Bear Lake in the San Bernardino Mountains and drove Forest Service Road 2N02 from up here in the area around Baldwin Lake down to this area of the town of Rimrock on Rimrock Road. In between is a very nice Forest Service road that we enjoyed taking. Now the reason I'm showing the map is because we discovered an error. Now unfortunately Apple Maps has a bit of a glitch that Baldwin Lake is over here. This is an area with some small horse ranches, and it incorrectly shows Forest Service Road 2N02 connecting to what is basically private property. So we weren't the only ones who made the mistake. We bumped into a number of other people wanting to take this same forest road on the same day, and all of us ended up at about this intersection trying to figure out what happened. Now fortunately I have Gaia Maps, so in Gaia Maps I was able to see the error, and I was able to see that the Forest Service Road, and you could see the error, it was picking up down here where actually it's the Pacific Coast Trail that connects there. Farther up the road here by Baldwin Lake, Forest Service Road 2N02 actually joins the other roads right here. I think this is like Vista Road or Delta Road, somewhere right around in there. So basically right around in here is where you pick up 2N02. The Apple Maps unfortunately is wrong and picks it up down here and among these ranches. So word to the wise, if you choose to take that same Forest Service road, you do not want to follow Apple Maps guidance. And that's just good word to the wise, or some good advice in general. Have multiple mapping tools. This is Gaia GPS, which is usually my go-to. Apple Maps, Google Maps are usually enough to get you close. They each have pros and cons, but many times I need multiple maps in order to show me correctly where I need to pick up a trail. So again, we picked up the trail here in the towns off Baldwin Lake and had a wonderful adventure driving Forest Service Road 2N02. All right, a little bit of a false start. There was a bit of a mix-up. The Apple Maps has been updated to show that the entrance to Forest Service Road 2NT0, that you can get there from the ranch, is about a mile south of here, well, maybe west of here. And it's funny because you can see where they made the error, and I think they made it recently, so a bunch of other people were driving their Jeeps and their 4x4s to the dead end surrounded by private property. There's a little spur of the Pacific Coast hiking trail, one of those like transcontinental hiking trails. So I thought that was funny. They connected it as if it were a drivable road. There's probably about a quarter mile or less that if you could drive it, you'd jump right on the Forest Service Road a little bit closer to where you drive up from the Los Angeles area. All right, so it's not like Kathy hasn't driven Sparky off-road before. You've driven him in the Ozarks. You've driven Sparky on our land in the UP. But this is Kathy's first time, I think, driving Sparky in California off-road. Am I correct?
That is correct.
All righty.
Correctamundo.
This is Forest Road 2N02. The video, and from what I saw from the videos of these Jeeps driving this road, it was super laid back and easy. So we'll see. And just give them the indication there's just one of us.
So all of them, the husbands were driving.
So the ladies were probably very jealous.
Mm-hmm.
So Kathy was saying she's disappointed she doesn't get to use her Jeep buttons. This is a Rubicon, so it's got all the bells and whistles. It's got the sway bar disconnects and the front and rear lockers. And the cool gizmos. I don't have it on there now, but on the touch screen you can put the inclinometers on. And it's got the hill descent is one of my favorites. Where's that? Yeah, right there. Yeah. That's one of the cooler features that I'm jealous of, because my old 2008 Hummer doesn't have any of that stuff. But this trail, we're not even in four-wheel drive, not even a 4-high. It's just a beautiful drive.
So it would help to air down the tires, right? But we didn't bring a...
Right, we don't have CO. I mean, I could have just thrown the CO2 cylinder in here, but it's one thing I haven't done is, like I was saying, I think in your Jeep, we'll just get a portable, one of those twin-cylinder 12-volt compressors. Mm-hmm. As soon as I stop the GoPro, oh, God, that's even more beautiful. Incredible vistas. Looking down at some of the incredible horse farms that are up around the Big Bear area. Everywhere I turn, there's just another amazing vista. It's the problem I had with the Little Bell Mountains, like, what do you not stop to photograph? Here we're just going to drive through and GoPro it, but...
Well, let me know if you want me to stop in one of those.
Hold on a second. No, unless you want to, I'm fine. This is just really, really nice. Keep doing roads like this. I've done some of these in Montana and usually just take them slow, but it is tempting to get like a racing, like an 8-point harness that would hold you secure to the seat so you don't get tossed so much.
Wear a helmet.
Yeah, I just remember with the boys, we took the Ram Charger out. I think it was Fort Sam Hood, and we had them wear bike helmets in the back of the Ram Charger. I had a roll bar and everything back there, and they had shoulder belts that I had installed, but still we gave them bike helmets and tossed around. Their Ram Charger was a coal cart, four-wheel leaf suspension. It's not as bad as an old Jeep CJ, but same idea. Feels like you're like just in this flat canyon with the topo lines and the slope of the trail, but you realize you're at 6,800 feet. So we kind of come out of that valley, and you can see down into a lower valley. So it's quite an interesting sort of canyon valley thing back there. That again, we're still really on it, where we haven't had a lot of big elevation changes in quite a while. And this is a proper shelf road. So we got enough of a cell phone signal there a few minutes ago that when I ran out of map, it started back up. So this is good. And from looking at the map, it will continue as 2N02. Which is good. Follow the signs. Kathy's comment was that bobcat did not appear to be as well fed. It's probably because people don't raise chickens up here in the mountains. We were just discussing our Joshua trees. Just in Joshua Tree National Park this spring, scouting before Kathy joined me out here. I honestly don't remember. But it's interesting for me that we've now come out of the mountains and we're going down into the desert in this canyon. So we kind of crossed the San Bernardino Mountains on this Forest Service road, which is part of what makes it so interesting. On my side, you can kind of see the mountains. You mean you can't keep saying Sparky is having fun. I think you mean to say Kathy is having fun driving Sparky. You were able to keep it at almost a constant elevation because of the way the canyon and the valley lay out, which is really amazing. That is just a gorgeous view. This really is amazing. We've only seen a few vehicles out here today. You are doing amazingly well on these shelf roads. No matter how many times I drive on shelf roads, I do not enjoy shelf roads.
Yeah, it was easier when there was more rock. This is more sand.
Yeah, I could see that. You probably don't have the same confidence in the feel. I'm quite confident your tires could not slip much on this because the rocks are just below the dust. But so I wouldn't be worried, but you're smart to be careful because if you don't feel tires 100% grip. I can't remember, there's a couple from France that I like, Next Meridian Expedition, I think it is. I love watching their videos. When they had the good judgment, they were somewhere in Utah and it rained and the clay turned to goo.
Ooh.
And they were like on a road like this and they had sense enough to stop because I've done a 360 going like 3 or 5 miles an hour on a flat road in Oklahoma on wet red clay. And like there's just zero traction. I was just like laughing, and I was happy I didn't slide off into the ditch, but I had absolutely zero traction because, you know, it balls up your tires, and then you just mud on mud. That is gorgeous. It's been too much fun having you explore and drive. So now we know this is not that little town of Pinecone or whatever. This is a town called Burns Canyon, which is private.
15 is the speed limit. Good thing I'm going 7.
It's very polite of you to signal. I'm not sure it was entirely. It does actually have a nice sign to show you right Yucca Valley and Rimrock are this way. Nothing else, I'll always have more respect now for what the passenger endures when you're not holding a steering wheel. It's a different experience. Especially when I'm not holding the Wrangler handle here, which would actually make it perfectly manageable because I'm too busy trying to grab a picture.
Yeah, I'm only going 10 miles an hour.
Now we're into the town of Vermont. Well, after that, we had about a 90-minute drive home on the asphalt. We'd gone kind of across the San Bernardino Mountains, back down to Interstate 10, and then back into the Inland Empire. But again, it was a combination of wonderful, fun outdoor activities, and there are a few places on Earth where you could have done all of them in a single day.